This is a PICASSO to PICASSO production from the Water TV team and family, Best Tupac Alive channel, and past and present political news team.
How's it going, my people? This is your boy Wired Up, and welcome to another episode of Wired Up TV. Hope you guys got your hands on the steering wheel and keeping your eyes on the road, doing everything you guys gotta do to take control of whatever you gotta do. I know things are hard. I know things get bad. Handle your stuff. Now, this is the Chris Carroll interview by PICASSO to PICASSO. Let me get it started. Number one, out of right field, do you know who Devin Todd Clark is or heard of him? Number two, do you know who Shane Splinter is? Number three, do you know if Tupac was shot in the hand? Number four, do you know who Paige Hemmings is? His answer, off the cuff, I don't know any of the people you have mentioned. Remember that I am the first responder to the scene and Tupac spoke his last words to me. I am friends with the investigators who handled the subsequent investigation and we have talked. But I was not directly involved in the follow-up investigation. He was not shot in the hand. Number five, you said Suge and Tupac were bleeding a lot. Why in the crime scene you could not see any blood on the ground? Now, as you guys can tell, Tupac, PICASSO to PICASSO got straight to the point and straight to the nitty-gritty. And you could basically see what he was talking about here, okay? So, he's asking all the right questions, but as you can see, Chris Carroll answers quick. And he says he doesn't know any of the people that PICASSO to PICASSO was asking about. It's a little fishy, it's a little weird, okay? But, like he said, he is the first responder. So I guess we have to go by his word. Now, we don't have to believe 100% of what Chris Carroll's saying here, but I just want to put that out there so you guys can hear that and understand what I'm talking about, okay? Now, with more research that we're going to do, we're going to see if he was telling the truth or not. But for now, let's take him at his word and let's go on with the interview, okay? PICASSO to PICASSO came up with the question that he most likely has heard you guys ask me, as Joe, as Rosemary, as him, whoever, or has seen on the comments. So all these questions, I've seen them before. You guys have asked them to me personally, or I've seen you guys post them on the comments. So he did a very great job. Then we're gonna keep on going and see what else he asked this gentleman, Chris Carroll, the first person on the scene of the Tupac shooting. Number five, you said Suge and Tupac were bleeding. Okay. Number six, do you remember seeing a tattoo on Tupac's neck when you were holding him? Number seven, do you know the two cops who rode in the ambulance to the hospital? Chris Carroll's answer, I'm sure there was some blood on the ground. Remember, it was night and the pavement is black. Pretty hard to see blood under those conditions. Most of Tupac's blood was contained on his clothes and his person. Don't remember the neck tattoo. He may have had one or not. Sorry. Okay? So he said that there might have been blood there. He didn't say there was blood 100%. And he gave the same thing. It was dark. It was black pavement. Whoopty-whoopty-wada. It's hard to see blood under those conditions. Yeah, it is. But with the pictures we've seen, the pavement was grayish. You could have at least seen some wet spot or something because blood is wet, right? And he says he doesn't remember the neck tattoo or if he had one. Now, number eight, did the car look like this? And this, he's showing on the hatchback, okay? Top right car, the hatchback car. This is his answer. Yes, I know the cops who rode in the ambulance. Oh, of course, he also asked him about the people that were in the ambulance. Yes, I know the cops who rode in the ambulance. Strangely enough, one of them was at my house today. I haven't seen the other one in a few years. They have chosen to stay clear of the press and live a private lifestyle. He said one of the guys in the ambulance was there with him. That's what he said. Strangely enough, he was there with him on that day. We'll talk about that later. That's weird, crazy, coincidence, conspiracy. You guys be the judge. Don't remember the neck tattoo. He may have had one or not, he says, okay? This is more clearly. But then he asks, I was wondering if one was named Shane Eric Splinter. He says, the car in the dark is very hard to make out. So he's talking about that picture. So he's still answering the questions on on the other side that we were just addressing. It says the car in the dark, which is on the bottom right there, is hard to make out, but the picture that is in set is definitely not the car. I have a pic standby, okay, and I believe he sends PICASSO to PICASSO a pic of the car and everything. And the pic he sent him, I didn't post it because it's a picture that you guys have seen 100 times. We've shown it on a Wired Up TV hundreds and hundreds of times. So I'm not even gonna bother posting it. It's just a picture of the BMW, the black BMW we've seen and stuff like that. But he said that the hatchback is not the car. I don't know if he misunderstood the question he asked by thinking if he's saying literally that is the car, literally that is the car, or if he didn't understand. But what PICASSO was trying to ask him, if I'm not mistaken, was it that kind of automobile? Was it a black hatchback? Is what he was trying to ask him. And Chris Carroll, I don't know what he was thinking, but it sounded, by the way he answered the question, was that he thought PICASSO was probably asking him, is that the exact car? Now, I might be wrong. He might have got the question, right on the money and, answered it the way he did. But who knows, okay? Who knows? But yeah, again, police officers and stuff like that, especially Vegas police, they're not gonna want to answer. Brent Becker, you know what I'm saying? I spoke to him on the phone, and he was very, very elusive. He was just defending the Las Vegas Police Department cold-heartedly. He would not give me any answers. He did not want to do a phone interview. He just wanted to do a text interview, and I was not having that. Guys, I want you guys to hear him, be able to ask him questions. And when they're elusive like that, it's because they're hiding something. So Brent Becker, if you hear this, man, thank you for not having the courage to come on here, because you know that we're gonna ask you some questions that you might not want to answer because you're protecting the Las Vegas Police Department. With that being said, let's move on. Okay, number 9. This is Paige Hemis. She did an interview with Channel Zero News. You never saw her? Chris Carroll. I never saw her. We don't have a Channel Zero News in Vegas. PICASSO. Someone was holding a microphone and it said Channel Zero on it. She also said Tupac left in a helicopter. Now, this is Chris Carroll laughing. Ha. Now, that's funny. No helicopter. That sounds fake to me. Tons of fake stuff out there. PICASSO, you can't see the mic. Chris Carroll. Computer is giving me a bad time with photos, but I'll get it. PICASSO. Supposedly she is now a popular person on TV, home remodeling or something. Chris Carroll. I can only see half the number on the mic. Maybe it's an 8. We do have that. Okay, so he says he could only see half of the mic. He sees the top of it and things like that or whatever. And he said it looked like an 8 because obviously a 0 could look like a number 8, right? It could be confused. It's possible. But yeah, he said they have a channel 8 up there. Okay, they said it's channel 0. Number 10. Did you ever go to the hospital where Tupac was? Chris Carroll. You can Google her, but I never heard of her. I never heard of her. If she said helicopter, I would think she's not legit. She's talking about the Hemis girl, the white chick with Channel 0. I didn't go to the hospital, but I know the cops who were there. PICASSO. They said this was Tupac in the hospital. You guys can see the picture. Does that look like him? Number 11. This was on the internet saying this is Tupac in 2002. What is your take on it? So, PICASSO was just asking him questions that he's heard you guys ask. Maybe questions he had for himself, and things like that. I honestly don't think Chris Carroll knows anything about the Tupac 2002 picture. He was just the first responder, and after that he left. So I think, he really would not know that much about that question. But that's just my opinion. Number 12. Does that look like from the scene that you were at, Tupac being loaded in the ambulance, or is it fake? Now he's showing him this picture. It was all over the internet saying it was Pac, whoop-de-whoop. Now this is Chris Carroll. I think the hospital picture is probably not him. That guy looks like he has hair. Tupac had a shaved head. So he said probably not him. Probably. So he's not 100% sure. But you guys have to realize you have to use your head. Chris Carroll was just a first responder cop. He was a bicycle cop. Okay, he was not the cop that got in the ambulance. He was not the sergeant. He was not a detective in charge of the murder or the shooting or whatever you want to call it after it happened on September 7th in Vegas. Okay, so these questions these answers he's giving you, you have to take them with a grain of salt and do your own research and your own due diligence. Not take it as gospel. Okay. So when he says that might be him, that it might not be, because he didn't see him. I don't believe he saw him. When he was loaded up in the ambulance, but who knows? That question wasn't asked. So the night, the right one was from the New York time he was shot in New York. But look what he answers: fake stuff for sure. Okay, so first he says it's possible, but then he says fake stuff for sure. So maybe he looked at it a little better and realized it was fake. Maybe he contacted somebody he knew and they told him it was fake. Whatever the case might be, he said it was fake. So number 13, is this the car? And you see that BMW, and he clearly answers yes. Remember, guys, he was there. He saw the car. I bet you he remembers the night exactly how it was, or maybe not, or whatever. But like I said, guys, you have to take this with a grain of salt. You cannot take it as gospel. Okay. Chris Carroll was there, and a lot of the things he says are right on the money and are legit. So he goes, sorry, not for sure if answered the ambulance pic, the left picture, is that a fake from the scene? Is that from the scene or not? So he's asking about that picture again. It's hard to see any blood on the ground in that pic of the car. Number 14, not sure if you could give the names of the cops at the hospital. Number 15, do you know who this guy is? And he's showing him the ambulance guy. Pretty sure you guys have seen it. The two guys that were giving their take when Tupac was in the ambulance. I don't think so. I will check it out. I did see the whatever. Number 16. Sorry, Picasso. I couldn't read it that much. Number 16. Do you know who this doctor is? He says, Vlad was okay, but he didn't have any footage. I hope you didn't watch the whole hour. That was a long one. I don't know that doctor, but I don't believe he was the one in charge of the trauma center. And he's showing the representative up there, the guy that was in charge of, telling the media, basically what's going on. He's the guy that came out and told the whole world that Tupac was going to survive and that Tupac was going to be okay, which was really, really unprofessional. Doctors don't do that. And I'm surprised he wasn't fired for that, because especially with celebrity, you know what I'm saying? But he basically spilled the beans and he told the world that Tupac was going to survive. So he basically, with that alone, is enough evidence to prove that Tupac is alive. Doctors don't come out and tell people that, especially about celebrities. Doctors don't even answer questions that much about celebrities, let alone tell you guys if he's going to live or die before anything is even happening. So by him telling you that, the doctors come out and tell you for sure. They're very, very, very cautious. They want to avoid lawsuits, bad press reports, bad news reports. So they're going to come out and tell you guys the truth. They're going to come out and tell you guys the nitty gritty. They're going to come out and tell you guys what's cracking. So they're not going to say he's going to survive if he's not 100% going to survive. So this is enough information and proof that Tupac is alive and he survived, guys. We have to open our eyes and see it for what it is. Okay, so good job, Picasso, for all these questions, man. Good stuff. I'm looking for the other doctor. Same car, right? He says, you see the car right there. They say this is the last picture taken of Pac alive. He shows that one. And then he answers, yes, that is the car at the scene. It is most likely the same one in the daylight tow yard picture, but I can't say for sure without seeing the passenger side. He was not wearing a vest. The last photo of him and shook together is legit. So, Picasso also asked Chris Carroll if Tupac was wearing a bulletproof vest that night. And he says right here, he was not wearing a vest. So does this solve that whole mystery and that whole stuff when people were asking, I mean, this puts an end to that wearing a vest thing, okay? This puts an end to that. If he was wearing a vest under the shirt. Now, it's possible his shirt was a bulletproof vest. You know, could Chris Carroll even look at the shirt? You know, I'm pretty sure he was mostly concentrating on Tupac, on the blood, or whoever was that, the guy, or whoever was there in front of him that was shot. So I highly doubt he was concentrating on the jersey to see if it was a vest. But he just put an end to all those theories. Anybody that ever believed that Tupac was wearing a vest under the jersey, Chris Carroll just put an end to that theory. Tupac was not wearing a vest under that jersey. Now, whether the jersey was a bulletproof vest itself, we would never know. We're gonna keep doing more research and try to find that out 100%. But as it pertains to Tupac wearing a vest under the jersey, that is a no. Chris Carroll has said it himself. Now, I told you guys not to take it as gospel, but this guy was right there in front of him. He was looking at at the wounds, at the blood and everything, and I'm pretty sure he lifted up his shirt or moved him around a little bit, and he could have seen. If Pac was wearing a vest, he would have seen it. So does this put an end to that theory? I believe so. What do you guys think? I don't know. You know, unless I get more proof that he was, I'm going with Pac was not wearing a vest under the jersey. The jersey might have been a vest, but he wasn't wearing one under. Okay. So, you know, this is basically, you know, my boy asking him, you know, so again, my people, I mean, you really have to take this stuff with a grain of salt. You decide what you're intaking as the truth and what you're intaking as him remembering and trying to conjure up what happened that night in his memory. Now, there's stuff I believe wholeheartedly, like the car situations and stuff like that, but you cannot, when he says that that's not the car, the hatchback, he's lying because of the fact that we have proof and pictures that there was a hatchback there at the scene. And we know it was not Frank Alexander's car because Frank Alexander was driving Kidada Jones's car, which we have on record. There's interviews. There's people saying it. I believe my boy Reggie Wright said that they were driving a greenish car or something like that. That's all he said. You know, he didn't say anything about no hatchback or anything like that. All he said is they were driving a greenish car. I've read that they were driving a Lexus. That car was black. It was definitely not a Lexus. I've never seen no hatchback Lexus in 1996. Y'all let me know if you guys ever did. I don't even think I've seen a hatchback Lexus ever. Not now, not 96, not ever. And it wasn't green, it was black, guys. It was black. Now, maybe it could have been dark and stuff like that. You know, so, you know, a dark green car could look black, but that was not a dark green car, and it was definitely not a Lexus. That was some sort of hatchback car. And we know Frank Alexander was driving Kidada Jones's car, which was a regular looking Lexus. We have to do more research on that. If any of you guys know that exactly, you know where to send it. watertobeforyou@gmail.com. But you know, the vest part, you know, he was right in front of Pac. I'm pretty sure he was doing work on him, moving him around or whatever, touching him around. And he said he had no vest under the jersey. Now, whether the jersey was a vest itself, I don't think he could say, and I don't think we can say it either. It looks like that from the research we've done so far, but we still haven't cracked the case 100%. So, guys, I urge you to do your own research. I urge you to look for all this stuff yourself. Read over these questions that my boy PICASSO asked Chris Carroll. You know, I think he did a great, awesome job. A lot of these questions I had, I'm sure you guys had. Unfortunately, that's all we could do because he's a very private man. He's done with all the interviews and stuff like that. I tried to get Brent Becker, but like I said, he was very elusive. Didn't want to answer nothing. And of course, like you heard Kathy Scott say, he's just going to defend the Las Vegas PD. And I don't want to ask him the same old questions everybody in the world has asked him already, and him just defend the Las Vegas PD. When in reality, They were incoherent. They could not solve the case. They would smack them in the face, and they didn't care. Okay, and in reality, Tupac is alive, and I think Pac made them look like fools, so that's why they didn't want nothing to do with the case, and they don't want to talk about it, because Tupac made them look like fools. And you know, that's basically what they were, and or what they are, you know, and I'm not afraid to say it. So guys, do your own research. Don't be afraid to be different. Keep your head up, stay positive, get your money, take care of your family. And like I always tell you guys, man, you know, walk with your head up high. Don't lower that head, because it's not very appealing. Okay, do your thing, guys. And like I always tell you guys, always stay wired up, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care and peace out.